It seems like I ran across a school of little spots over here. It's Dalton, everybody. I'm out here at Lake Nacimiento, and I got a little bitty guy here. I just started fishing not long ago. Just been kind of running around. I'm back here, you know, in the river end, but not way back. There's some docks over here. There's a little rocky point. And all I'm doing right now, because it's really calm, is I'm just taking a little Ned rig craw made by Z-Man on 4-pound test line. And if I get too many small ones here, I'll move and try to find them a little bit bigger. I was talking to some guys earlier that did run across some white bass back here. It lasted about 5-10 minutes. Then it really slowed down for them. The key out here right now with guys that I'm talking to is just find the boils. Look for the boils if you're looking for the white bass, and you will probably catch a lot of them. I've had a couple of emails that guys have done really good out here over the last couple of weeks getting after the white bass, spotted bass as they're boiling together. I've seen no boils as of yet. It's a little later in the day. I may not see them. I wanted to come out and check out the lake. The river end is really clean. And when you're on the main lake, it has 2 to 3 foot visibility. It's plenty good enough for fishing. And I'm gonna fish out here for a while and decide if I'm gonna bring my wife back out here day after tomorrow, or if I'm gonna go back to Margarita. There we go. There we go. This one here feels a little better than some of those little dinks I was getting. Oh, that's because it's a white bass. Yeah, there was a white bass off this point. I just cast out. And there he was. I changed up my swim bait. Didn't feel the one I was using was working for me. Little white bass right there. And so what I did was I put on a 3-inch swim bait, and when he hit it pretty good. So a lot of small bites today. Nothing substantial at all, but when I find little rocky areas, little rocky points, I cast out away from it and just slowly bring it back in. At least that's what I'm doing with this swim bait. I'll go over the setup here in a little bit, give you a little report of the water conditions and kind of what's going on out here, but I'm gonna move around, do a little more fishing. So this has kind of been my day, just a lot of small fish, little spotted bass, a couple little white bass. They're really tiny. I've moved around a lot. I was down at the river end. I fished over at the dam. So let me talk to you guys a little bit about the water clarity out here. I am very happy with the water clarity. I fished over at the dam end because a guy had told me that he saw a boil going on over there. So I went over there, never did see the boil, but I could see my bait easily 2 to 3 feet. It's dingier, but it's still plenty of visibility for your bait, no problem at all. As you get toward the middle of the lake, I'm in Los Tablas right now. Los Tablas is very clean. I'm seeing again 3, maybe even 4 feet. So water clarity is not an issue out here right now. Water temperature right now is 73 degrees right here at Los Tablas. The key for me today in catching, you know, the fish that I caught, even though they're small, is fishing points. What I would do, this is a little cut right here, like a little bay. So I got bites over on that point, and then I've been getting bites on this point, and I'm gonna get my other camera, I'm gonna show you this bay and kind of what I'm talking about. But the points have been really good. So what I do is I get up on the point pretty much, and I cast out, and then I bring this swim bait in, and this swim bait's been working really good. I'll give you the setup on all this in just a minute. But the swim bait had some Ned rig bites today, and those are the 2 baits that I've been bit on so far. Let me show you this bay. So guys, let me show you what I'm talking about here. This is a point here where I just caught that last one. I've had a couple other bites that I missed. And as we kind of go through here to the back of the boat, you're gonna see this bay. When the water's up, I've actually caught a lot of fish back here. There's not a lot of bait right now, but I've caught a lot of fish back here. Over there is another point, and I was getting bites over there. So what I've been looking for today is stuff just like that, just points leading into a cut, a pocket, a bay, and throwing it outside and back to the point. And even though they're small, those are the bites I've been getting today. What's cool about this one is he had followers. He's still got followers. They're trying to take the bait from him. There's about 3 or 4 followers. Now, this is a little bit bigger, and the ones that were following him were about the same size. A little bit bigger spotted bass. Man, they're so beautiful. It's not even funny. I miss these bass. I'm still going to be fishing out at Margarita a lot, going back and forth between the two lakes. This setup I'm using for the swimming worm, this is the Duckett Ghost Rod. Very medium action. I got a loose speed spool, 6/8 to 1, and 12-pound test, Seagar and Vizix. This is a jig head made by Fish Head. And it's a really nice jig head because the way this head is designed, sometimes I'll actually drag that swim bait. And this is a 3/8 ounce. I want some good long casts. This is a 3-inch. I believe it's called the Deal as far as the color. This is the 3-inch Z-Man Slim Swims. And I took the yellow marker and just colored the tail. I've had a lot of bites on this thing today, but the really small ones just can't get it. And I don't really want to catch those really small ones. But that's the biggest one I've caught so far today. Like you said, he had some of his friends or cousins or whatever with him. But fish are biting out here. And it just depends on the day. I was talking to some guys earlier, and they had got across a boil that lasted about 5 or 10 minutes. And they caught a bunch of white bass. Now, I might have got out here a little bit too late today. I didn't run across any of the boils today. There was a little one right here that I saw, and I caught that little spot on it. But I didn't see any real big boils. But you know, that's going to run day to day. And you know, as summer comes, it's going to get crazy out here looking for some great topwater. Let me see if I can get another fish here, and I'll show you the other rig I used. Now, the way I'm working this swim bait, you know, I'm just casting it out. I got some trees over here in the water, and I have been reeling it really, really slow. That tail's got a lot of action on it, so you can reel it slow. And if I reel it too fast, I can't get them hooked. So real slow. And they'll come through here feeding. Right now I don't see any on the graph, but they'll come through here, and then I'll wind up catching some. So it's been pretty decent on the bite, but actually the bite for me has been later in the day. Right now it is 10 minutes after 1. I didn't get a lot of bites this morning. I got on the lake about 9 o'clock. Most of my bites have come today around noon. So why that is, I really don't know. It's been pretty calm today. There's a dinky winky breeze. I wish there was a little bit more. And it's warm out here, but fish are definitely biting. Swim baits are always good at this lake. I just lost what I think is a little largemouth over here. I threw it by those branches. He jumped up and threw the lure out. Wasn't hooked very good. The other setup I've been using today, this is my Daiwa crappie rod, real medium action. I'm using 4-pound test Seagar and Vizix. a 1/10 ounce Z-Man mushroom head, and that right there is called a little Ned craw. And I've tested this in the water, and what happens is when it just sets, it slowly starts lifting, and those craws stand straight up. And I just barely twitched this thing along, and that's how I was getting some bites. When the wind was just dead slick calm, I used this. I've been chasing the breezes today. There's no real wind, but any little breeze that would create a little ripple on the water like this, that's when I would throw the swim bait. If I couldn't find that, I'd throw this little Ned craw. You'll hear more about this bait as we get into the summertime. What I did is this tree over here, sometimes I call it the crappie tree, because in years past there's been a whole lot of crappie around it. This is a spotted bass that I caught. And what I did, since I was missing so many of them, is I went ahead and took that Ned craw off, and then I took a little 2.5 inch Z-Man Slim Swims, all white, and wound up getting this spotted bass right here up against this tree. Hopefully that's a sign. Well, it seems like the crappie and the spotted bass aren't the only ones that like that tree. I got another little white bass right here, and it's kind of fun on 4-pound tests. They fight really good. Come on over here. And he just kind of took off with it. So as you can see, guys, the fish are definitely biting. And no boils for me today, but I did get some just kind of swimming around. So if you miss them on a little bit bigger swim bait, it's kind of busted down to a smaller one, a little 2.5 inch. I remember a couple years ago, I talked a lot about these slim swims. I make little swim baits like this too, but there's sometimes I just got to have the slim swims. Sorry guys, I thought the camera was recording. Right behind me is that tree I'm talking about, so I can go ahead and add trees to where I'm catching them today. Trees and points. And another white bass. So another white bass by that tree, so that's both spotted and white bass over there. Nice little fighters. These are the small ones. They get a lot bigger out here, and if I get on these white bass, I like to do a couple several different things. Sometimes I'll just burn a chatterbait through them, but one of the things I like to do is just take a little swim bait like this, 4-pound test line, and let them fight. I don't really care if I catch 100 of them. I'd rather catch them on light line myself, catch 25 of them, and let them just fight, fight, and fight. That to me is a lot of fun with these white bass. The other way that I like to catch them is with top water. So they're a lot of fun both ways. This one's got me bleeding. A friend of mine, he came out here not long ago, way up the river, and he said they caught about 100 white bass. So you can do it out here. Well, I think I've put enough fish catches on the video here. Got a lot of bites, and a lot of small bites. Not much I can do about that, but I had a lot of fun out here. The report is that Nacimiento is back, and it will continue to get better. Water temps are warming up. Water clarity's clearing up. You can come out here and fish right now and have a great time and not have to worry about the water being muddy anymore. And I went all the way back here in Tablas, fished the heck out of this tree. There wasn't a huge school of fish around this tree, so I just kept fishing it and fishing it and just pecking them off, going around and around that tree, and with these little swim baits. So the swim baits, the Ned rig, those were the two things I used today. Didn't mess around much with top water. Didn't throw my chatterbait, just couldn't get quite enough wind for that. But I had a great day. Not sure if I'm coming out here day after tomorrow or going back to Margarita. We'll find out. I'll be with my wife. Hopefully we can get a video together for you guys of going out and enjoying a fishing date. Thanks for tuning in. I'll talk to you all next time.